Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. And like I said, 99 problems, but a BA1. Hey, but it's really not 99 problems. They're answers. These are the answers that we're seeking today. And here we go. um, it's so cool though, because a lot of times, he failed. I don't know. He's trying to get up over here. See what I'm trying to tell you? I told him no. No, meow. I said you could not come up here, fella. You could go over there and get on your cat tree. You can go up there. Sorry, guys. Okay. Anyway, so in our segment of each one teach one, I, you know, I just get taken. Here he comes. I get taken aback about the relationships people have, and in these relationships, they want to say, um, how woe is me, and so on and so forth. Um, and but nobody wants to take accountability for what they need to do. And it just amazes me because when I sit and I listen to, you know, I hate to I hate to say uh, that people are oh, sound like McConnell. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to freeze. Ooh, that was so much shade. Yeah, that's not what I said. Um, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't want to take accountability. They sit up there and they make it seem like, oh my God, what was me? Blah, blah. And one thing I can't stand is a crybaby. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody looks at it a little bit different when it comes down to how they're feeling and what they're feeling about, what they're saying. Um, but the reality is that you have to take accountability um, for the stuff that you do. And if you're starting stuff or you're not being honest and you're not being faithful, how do you expect for your partner to be faithful, or to be um, honest with you when you're not being honest with them? So this is interesting to me when people sit there and they say stuff like, censor. When people sit there and say stuff like, "Oh, um, they almost put." Okay, I'll do an example. Females put themselves on the same level as a guy, uh, and what I mean by that is, in one respect, you think you can present yourself to a man in a way that is going to allow you to have a the same type of say so um, that you would if you actually was a man. And what I mean by that, hold on, let me get it right for you, okay? Because um, what was I trying? Oh, hold on. Sorry, y'all. All right, I just forgot to do something on the last episode, and I had to get it right. So sorry about that. And we're back. But this is what I mean. So many people go through these trying to pick up their pieces after a breakup, and it's one thing. Come here. If you're going to come up here, you can only sit on my lap. Come here. But you're not going to be crawling around investigating. Come here. Come on. Come here. Yes. Come here. Come here. Come here. You can't be investigating. You can only sit right here on mommy's lap. No, sir. So you say you're gonna pick up the pieces and you're trying to do what you need to do. Then the one thing that you have to understand is, there's a lot of things you can do after a breakup that are actually healthy and healing. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't include you, running around talking bad about the person, going on social media. We talked about this before. But once you wake up in the morning and you recover after the tears and all the things, ouch! Quit it! No! Soft pause, soft pause, soft pause, or else you're getting down. Soft pause, soft pause. Oh my God. It is the worst thing when a cat scratches you. That's why they talk about a cat fight, because that is not a good feeling. Dang it. Anyway, I have crates and I have cages. I don't like crates or cages, and I don't like putting them in the crate or the cage. I just don't. So I choose not to put them in the crate or the cage because I want them to be free. But it's kind of a trip because as you are training new animals, you have to make sure that you're teaching them certain things, and that's where we're having a problem because he does not want he wants to do what he wants to do, but they know what I'm saying, so he's starting to be a little calmer. What he's doing, he's watching the screen. No, no, Dash, you can't. No, if you do that, you're going to get down. Just sit right here with mommy, you can watch from here. No. So anyway, oh my gosh, I can't even get through what I'm trying to say. um when you talk about different things going on in your relationship, sometimes I always believe when you have issues and you have problems, my hands bleeding, with situations, you have to make sure that what you do is you write a list. I personally like to write lists, but whatever works for you. It might be your iPhone on your notepad or whatever. I like to make sure that I am writing things down and trying to break down what it is that created the problem, you know, from my behalf. I can't I can't rectify what the other person did, wait, or fix what they did. I can only write down what the problem was for me. And so once I write down what the problem was for me, then I can begin to start to decipher how I'm going to fix it. You know, in my personal list, it's going to include items that I wouldn't recommend to anybody else. Like I said, I just thought I would do it for myself. You know what I'm saying? There are like Facebook messages or text messages, or maybe his picture is pinned in my text message section. When I get up the next morning and I'm getting over this person, I'm going to unpin them and I'm going to delete the messages. I'm not going to harp on them and keep going back and forth to those messages or whatever, because to me, that continues to keep me in a realm of where I am still hurting or I'm still feeling sad or whatever, you know. But just the one thing that I feel like I know that I deserve to do, and for all of us, is just to remember that you're human, and in the fact that you're human, you're going through a heartbreak, causes major, psychological and neurological changes, and in knowing that these changes are normal, and you got to expect that, you know, you are going to feel less alone in how you feel um, as the days go by. You know what I'm saying? And you just communicate with people, keep in touch. But be sure to unfollow. Like I said, that ex. Why are you following them? Why are you watching them? You know what I'm saying? You don't need to pay attention to them because they probably catfishing you on the other end. And I know when somebody's catfishing me, but I just string them along and let them believe it. They always say, I hate when they say, hello, beautiful. Like, thank you for saying that. I'm not knocking that. But it's so fake and it's so disingenuous and it's so not heartfelt. It's like the easiest thing you could say. But you keep saying hello, good morning every day. You keep saying the same thing instead of having a conversation with me. I hate that crap. Ugh, that's disgusting. That's how you know it's a catfish. So anyway, find soothing nighttime routine. For me at night, if I can't sleep sometimes, what I do is I pull out my iPhone and I'll either shop, which I don't make shopping too much of a habit because that can become a habit that's not good for you because you don't want to think that every time you get in a bad way, you can go and you can do some shopping because we trying to save money right now, so you don't want to do that all the time. But maybe I ran out of paper towels and I know I need to order some more. I'll go on and get that, or whatever I need, but nothing too hectic. But for the most part, my soothing routine might be to basically light an incense and maybe meditate before I go to bed, or maybe I'll get hit hit return messages uh, for people that I hadn't talked to in a while on my text messages, or maybe I will send emails or update emails. But a lot of times, if I am working on my podcast stuff or my music stuff, I'll take that time to work on me, you know. So it could be something like that. And some people might, maybe you want a new job and you want to send your resume out. So that would be the time you could use for that. I know when I was single, um, before I danced a lot, or took a dancing lesson, but I also like yoga, and so that's something I'm trying to get back into. Now I have roller skates, and I'm trying to stay active on my roller skates once a week. Um, but I I heard about candlelight yoga, and that it's one of the healthiest ways to spend a Friday or Saturday night where you're used to going out with somebody, and it helps you to decompress. So that might be one way. Instead of hitting a club where it's loud and makes you remember somebody or whatever. But some people, I mean, obviously, some of the thoughts of one of the 99 answers, but a BA one is to find a therapist. You find a therapist. You can read or practice self care Sunday on any day of the week. I do my self care any day of the week. It just depends on what mood I'm in, but typically I do self care. I love self care, and my favorite thing is getting different colored fingernail polish. I love it. The color of money, I love it. It's green. Um, I get, do my hair and or put a face mask on or my little under eye face mask things or whatever, and just try to get my life, get my life. Chipotle, it's my life. So something that means something to me, obviously, to make sure that I can better myself. Practice practicing that is, I think, the best because it's giving back to yourself. Or you get an animal. If you don't want an animal, you can pet an animal. I went and I always said, God knew I had so much love to give that I didn't get one but two but three little pets, and I love them. They're annoying sometimes because they're learning, and I forgot that in all their cuteness that they were going to be the take that time to retrain them, which I don't mind because I train them, and once I train them, they're very good and very well. See how he's sitting on my lap? He's sneezing. Bless you. It's the air conditioner. I turned it around so I could feel it. But pets unconditionally love and they're supportive, and their presence doesn't actually um, wonder for boosting a mood. You know what I mean? So they're there for you. It's not like, oh, they're squirrelish. They're there for you. They're always very loving and very kind, and it's a very good neurological chemical in your brain that helps the nervous system feel good. So yeah, that's one way. Um, they have breakup apps, and I didn't realize this, but this is pretty cool. You could plug into somebody else in the area, and you can find different people in the area that may be going through the same thing you're going through, and you can plug into those apps and meet up with those groups, or just have good chats with people who are going through the same thing. So that's pretty good. But it's good to leave the house and get some fresh air. Now I fall victim of this just naturally, where I don't want to leave the house, and then one spark of COVID, and oh, I'm putting my mask back on and I don't want to be around people. But I have to get myself, situated so that I'm out more than the average person because my mom, when she was living, she spent home time at home a lot and she never really went out. And I never really thought about it being one of the things that can happen, but it is something that I feel like, yeah, maybe I picked that up. And so I have to kind of force myself to have a normal life and just the more quickly um, I put myself out there, then the more normal I feel. But exercise, now, see, exercise is, oh my God, that is one of the best things that I found to release my endorphins and it makes me feel happy, is because it releases those endorphins. And you know, it makes me feel happy when I go to exercise. But this other one is kind of like one where if you are really trying to get past this ex or whatever, you know, th- if you are trying to figure out who's at fault for what, then you could actually start listing the faults of your ex. List the faults and see what they did and remind yourself of what you don't want to go through again. Whether it's with someone new or just that you ain't trying to go back to that person, you know? But the most important thing is if you take a mental health day, especially um, if you're if you are taking a mental health day and say for instance you're going through some trauma that could actually prevent you from working, or maybe you're an athlete, or maybe you're a song or singer songwriter or a performer, or and it's causing problems for the team or the group. Take a mental health day. Let them know I need a mental health day so I can breathe. you know. And breathing brings me to my next thing. When you're going through breakups and stuff like that, if you take a deep breath, you'll be surprised. If you close your eyes and slow your breathing and you start listening to your breath and you just feel the rhythm of your breath, it enables you um, to really feel, excuse me, at least the the slowing of momentum of that issue that you were going through. You know, Crack open a good, book of mental health benefits that you can actually, and I say I mean like poetry, and I call them mental health benefits because sometimes poetry or a good book can help too. And there is the you can gather your allies and surround yourself with loving and supportive friends and family members and just ask them to make sure that you leave the house, and if you need to be, call me, make sure I'm all right, make time to see them, and have coffee or lunch or dinner and just spend time with others, and you know how they always say, live, laugh, love, and dance like no one's watching? Movement is great, along with the exercise, dance, practice gratitude. There's so many things in the world you can help people, I remember I was outside or going into the 7-Eleven, saw this young kid, and he looked hungry, and I asked him if he was hungry, and he said, yes, ma'am. And I went in and bought him something to eat. And I didn't think about it to let him come in and pick it out. But then there's another lady that came in behind me and she had him come in and pick out what he wanted. And I was like, oh, I was buying him something to eat too. So he might as well pick out a sandwich too. So he got 2 for 1. But it's, gratitude is very self healing to me because I felt so happy that I could give back to someone and make him feel good and make sure his tummy felt good. And it was the first time somebody wasn't begging for money. So I didn't feel bad. But look to your personal growth, because personal growth is so inspiring, but it's important. I think a lot of times we forget that things are going to move forward. So as we look forward, we can have a renewed freedom um, in our growth beyond where we're at today. And we can look and say, this is the person that I'm going to become. This is the person that I am going to be, so on and so forth. You know, we should cherish the time that we have in between that breakup and the growth that we're doing and cherish that moment and that journey. I always talk about appreciate the journey. You got to appreciate the journey because it becomes inspiring to you one day. And once you discover that you've made it to this next phase, then it makes you feel good about who you've become and from the things you were at. It's an authentication of yourself and becoming more authentic of the woman or man or individual that your purpose to be. And it also helps you to grow so that when you get to that next level, you're not repeating the same things you did before. Because I don't know for some of you if you've ever noticed how if you don't pick up on the lessons, you continue to repeat them over and over again. So you want to make sure that you learn from whatever it is that you've gone through. And it's really something to be desired once you think about it and you look back. Now, I have friends and they like doing stuff on Etsy and Pinterest. They make a Pinterest board of their favorite things or whatever. And they also, when they get to looking at that, they're surrounding themselves with things that feel and look good to them, like influences their overall feelings, whether it's like cute little puppies or kittens or birds or whatever, or you go on Etsy and you look at certain things and you like making bracelets, and then you decide to invest in yourself. They have kits on Amazon where you could start small, and as you go through your process, you learn what you should or what you shouldn't do or use because you want to make sure that you're giving the best quality. So that's one thing. But you can also, if you're, um, I'm a very emotional person, but I don't show it to a lot of people, and I don't cry very often. It's hard for me to cry. Um, this is not bad to do. It's just that I don't cry. But if you're one of the people that do cry, you have to hydrate yourself. You have to remember you have to put that hydration back in because you've been crying and you need to moisturize. I mean, not moisturize, but hydrate yourself. So you've got to do that. There's something that I looked up the other day called forest bathing. And this is where you choose a tree that appeals to you and feel the energy that's flowing into it from the roots. And when you do that, it's going all the way up to those leaves. And you let yourself connect to all the living energy. It's pretty cool, right? So we often let others know that we are meditating or praying or whatever, but forest bathing, I think that's pretty cool. So you have to kind of like be out in the elements to feel the tree or whatever, but you would feel that energy from there. Also, one thing that's really cool is to send yourself love notes. I think that is awesome, right? You're trying to heal from this breakup, you're trying to get yourself better. We often let others know that we care about them, but we rarely pause to give ourselves these healthy doses of self love. Okay, and it's really cool when you think about it to make sticky notes and stick them all over the place, or um, send yourself an email, something that you can just look at. A love letter to yourself can be tremendously helpful, just increasing self appreciation. So you want to make sure that you think about you too. There's good things that you can do uh, that comes with fewer social obligations. And, you know, you can have a lot of times where you could just have fewer social obligations and just, be in a place where you just enjoy being, having like a movie night and Netflix and chill with you, maybe some popcorn, hey, and get me some of that cheese salt that you put on. I don't know if somebody's walking extremely hard. I don't know where they're walking. The floor is vibrating. Um, but follow an inspirational account on social media. I love these because a lot of times I can follow different accounts and enjoy going into those accounts and seeing what they say. And I just get on a roll and I end up looking down their whole page because it becomes very inspirational. So, but follow strong men and women. You know what I'm saying? Um, Jennifer Aniston, Emma Watson, Rihanna, Lizzo, they are all very powerful and strong women. Love them. And they are very helpful. Sometimes if you go to their pages and just look at some of the positivity that they exude, it helps as well. I follow them all. But consider going on a dating sabbatical. Now, this is interesting. Like I said, so many people jump back into the dating world. They don't even give themselves times to separate from the ex to help them regroup and start rebuilding their life away from them. And then they jumping right back into somebody else. And 9 times out of 10, the next person's just as crazy, if not crazy. The the what do they call the demon? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. That's what I think they say. But if you can hold off until you went on a sabbatical, this is what now I'm not bragging on myself, but I've taken time out to really look into what it is that's important to me. And I know that the man for me is on his way and things are always working out for me. So I'm not worried because I know he's there and he's here and he's coming and so on and so forth. And sometimes on the way there, you might get sidetracked by someone you might think is someone coming to you, but they are just a wolf in sheep's clothing, child. So beware. Just put this in your mind that you're going to set a time frame for your sabbatical. And in the process of you setting this time frame for your sabbatical, you're going to wait until you are ready to provide yourself the space to go out and get to know someone new. Don't just jump right into the relationship. You know what I mean? Many therapists will tell you that. But if if you're like me, like I said, where it's hard for me to cry sometimes, you know, you need to drop the resistance because if you're feeling your feelings and you just let them be, then when you pay attention and listen and sit with the sensation in your body, the pain will start to melt away and subside. So that's what's important as well, is to feel that crack. It ain't always nice, but you got to go through to get to the other side. I always say it. So that's important. And then crying. When you allow yourself to cry, I mean, I know, like I said, we feel better due to the release of the pent up stress or emotion. Crying is good. Laughing is also good because it releases endorphins too, happy hormones. But if you decide that you need to get some things out that maybe you haven't said to that ex who has hurt you, then, let it out mindfully. You know, write a letter, say all the things you want to say, and then burn it. Yeah, burn it because it impacts you more than you know. Not only did you get out what you wanted to say, but you burnt up any anger that you had for that person, and now you've moved on. So it's great. But embrace the quietness. Like I'm in my apartment and Jesus, it takes me, I have to reorganize it every 3 to 6 months. And when I go to reorganizing it in those 3 to 6 months, it takes me anywhere from 1 to 2, maybe 2.5 weeks to get everything done. Unless I'm just at home and I don't have to go in and out or work or whatever. But the reality is that when I have that quiet time, I embrace it because to be honest with you, I've always said if my house was messy, it was an indication of how my mind was. So because of that, I like to make sure that I take the time that I need to embrace that emotional stance and just let go by cleaning. And then before I know it, the whole house is spotless and immaculate. and I've gotten everything where I wanted it to be because I took that time to embrace the quiet. But a few more things, and then we're going to move on to our next segment because this has really been a wonderful topic of how to answer, get 99 answers and a BA1 in regard to breakups. So, be happy for happiness. Lift yourself up. But I also like holding healing crystals like rose quartz and moldavite and moonstone. So I will definitely put some of these things the um, in the comments, and I hope that you all have enjoyed this segment of learning about 99 things that we didn't get to. We got to about 30 or 40 different things that we can learn about to help us with breakups and to heal our hearts. So keep in mind that there is a blessing coming your way. And it has been wonderful discussing on this segment of Each One Teach One with you of 99 answers, but a BA1. Beep. So I'll see you in our last segment of Rep Your City. I'll be right back. Thank you guys. And I hope that your heart heals too. Love you.